Picking the shortest path, he swung past the hulking warehouses of the garment district. As he passed a particularly old one, a small tingle ran from his fingertips and toes, up along his limbs, meeting at the small of his back. The spider sense that warned of impending danger was usually more of a 5-bell alarm, sometimes making him leap even before he knew what he was dodging. This was more like goosebumps from a cool breeze, a shadow of unease.
I'm so overeager. I'm jumping at nothing. Parker, when will you ever grow up?
Standing alone inside the decrepit building, 89-year-old Silvio Manfredi figured he'd left behind any need to grow up a long, long time ago. His street name, Silvermane, said it all. He was the leader of the Maggia, the city's largest criminal syndicate. He was the silverback, the alpha male, and for decades now, a target for anyone eager to take his place. In his line of work, any sign of weakness was death. Silvermane couldn't just be on top. He had to make sure everyone saw him there, even when it came to fashion. The right business suit meant dominance. The right gun meant the guy carrying it knew how to use it. That was why, though he missed his old Homburg hat, dark gray striped suit, and two-tone shoes, he now wore the latest Brioni. And why, rather than his old Tommy gun, he always carried a sweet little piece that could spray 420 rounds a second. Experience had also taught him how to smell a threat. So when the pug-faced attorney, Caesar Cicero, had pleaded with him not to come to this warehouse without backup, his nostrils flared. Good advice? Yeah, sure. But lawyer talk always had more than one meaning. Silvermane's ambitious second-in-command was probing for weakness, searching for signs the old man had grown feeble enough for him to make a move. But Silvermane hadn't fallen for it. The city's crannies hid the bodies of hundreds of chumps who trusted important duties like this face-to-face to some lackey. He should know. He'd put half of them there. So despite his aches, a hip that creaked when he walked, and a bum heart that threatened to take him out faster than a hitman's bullet, Silvio Manfredi had showed up all on his own, refusing so much as a single bodyguard. If it was a setup, he'd have smelled that too. But as the minutes ticked by and he remained alone, the cold making its way into his bones, he had to admit that, signs of weakness aside, death was death too. Sooner or later, there'd be a point where trusting his aging instincts might not be such a good idea. 3 times he'd forgotten the address. When he checked the flip notebook he used for the special kind of info that only a fool would trust to a digital what's-his, he could barely make out his own scrawl. Afraid the tremors had returned, he held out a hand. It was steady enough, but the fingers, once able to crack bones, looked so wrinkled they reminded him of his grandmother. Thinking of that sadistic witch sickened him. If one of his men were here, he'd have beaten him just to shake the memory. When his sainted mother had died, shielding him from a Sicilian mobster with a vendetta, Silvio was sent to stay with his only living relative. That crone had never been young. She was already as calcified as a tombstone when they met, and she spat her first words to him.
Se non fossi per te, mia figlia sarebbe ancora vivo.
If not for you, my daughter would still be alive.
Too arthritic to make a fist, she'd beaten him with a wooden spoon. But at night, when she thought he wasn't listening, she'd sing herself a lullaby, the tune half remembered from the harsh countryside of her birth, where only the quick and strong survived, and survival was cherished above all. The words went, "They tell us that we're born to die, but there's no sense in that, say I. Those of us who know the truth will drink the nectar of youth." When the wooden spoon cracked, she stole the few coppers his mother had left him and bought herself a new one made of steel. After a year of daily beatings, that one bent too, and his grandmother shook it at him.
Anche sarai la mia morte!
You'll be the death of me, too.
When she finally did die from a massive coronary, he hoped it was true. Silvermane was trying to recall the second verse. A hooded figure stood behind him. He must have entered while Silvermane was lost in his stupid reverie. A mistake.